Hello.
How's it going?
Good. We're back.
We're back.
We're back.
Back
We haven't
again.
recorded this year at all together.
No.
We
I
haven't
just thought about that.
recorded since like a couple of days before New Year's. When did we record the State of the Collection?
It's been like 2 weeks at least.
Man.
I feel like it has, maybe.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
The Monta interview was great, though.
It went really well.
I'm glad that everybody got to hear it, and the feedback has been phenomenal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is cool. I loved that episode. And like listening back to it, I mean, obviously we were there and part of the conversation, but I forgot how good it was. Like, I know we were texting while we were very last minute editing. We've had this episode for a month and waited until the night before it went out to do all of it.
2020 goals.
We're not starting off well.
No.
We're also recording this episode like a day and a half before it goes out. I have to work the next 2 days, including today.
Oh,
so.
man. It'll be fine.
It's going to be a late Monday night. 2020 goals after this week.
Yes. Starting the third week of January.
Starting the third week. You know, January is a trial month, right?
Yeah.
We don't really count that one.
Yeah, I think we'll get better. Maybe.
I know.
But you know what? This works. Our system works.
Yes.
As much as we hate it, it works.
Procrastination works. I always felt like in college and in high school doing like writing papers and all, I always felt like I did all my best stuff right before it was due. Like all my best writing.
Yeah.
So it is what I mean, you're welcome, guys. Like these are the sacrifices we make for y'all. Procrastinating, stressing ourselves out for no reason, just for you guys. So when we're crying in a corner of a mental institute, y'all,
oh gosh,
y'all think of us.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Hopefully not.
Yeah, it's okay. No, but that episode went really well, and I think that going into this year, we're hoping that we get to do more interviews like that because that was really fun.
It was so fun. I love that Nashville's becoming such like a destination too for watch brands. And
we have a big watch club here.
We do. And
surprisingly.
Nashville's just such a big city now anyways, and it's very centrally located to a lot of places. So I know the guys at Notice are definitely coming down, and I'm just going to start reaching out to a lot of these U.S. brands because I see them go to like other places. Come visit us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Come
and then
hang out.
We've got Wind Up coming up in July, right? Is that July?
I think have they officially announced?
I don't know.
The
It's
date?
June or July, I think.
In our
Chicago?
calendar, it's July. But I don't know. Have they officially announced it?
I don't know if they have or not.
Are we allowed to? I don't know.
They said it on their podcast.
Yeah, but the specific date? Where did you get that date from, by the way? You don't know?
I really do not remember.
Okay. I hope it's right because I'm making
pretty
my
sure
summer vacation plans around that day.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's right.
I think I got it. I had to get it from Ilya. I don't know who else would have, unless I just really made up some dates.
Oh, jeez. I should probably reach out before I make my vacation
Yes,
plans.
for sure. No, but we're like super excited for that, and like we'll take our gear, we'll do some interviews while we're there. And honestly, I'm just excited to meet a bunch of people. So
I know.
I'm so glad that they're doing it in Chicago because that's really it's not too far from us.
Centrally located.
Yeah, for sure. And Chicago's a huge city. So I feel like all these like Midwestern states, a little bit of the Southern states can easily like hop over to Chicago.
Right. That's the hard part, when you had it only on the East and West Coast is you have the entire Midwest. And I mean, it's definitely, Chicago is so centrally located for so much of the country. So, and a lot of these watch brands are kind of Midwest anyways. So I think
their
I'm
territory,
very excited. Yeah. I'm very excited about that.
Absolutely.
And that'll be our first like watch fair.
Yeah, I think so. Because I don't think there's anything before that.
I don't think we're going anywhere.
Can't go anywhere.
So our last episode we recorded together, we did our State of the Collection, which changed literally 2 days after that episode aired. So you have something new.
I do.
And you got rid of something.
Yes.
All right. So where are we at?
So I got rid of the Grand Seiko for some various reasons, and then I got a Speedmaster.
Yay.
Another Speedmaster. I've had a lot come through my collection. I just can't seem to get rid of him because I think it's, and I'm not one of these enthusiasts that believes you have to have a sub and you have to have a Speedmaster, but I'm just drawn to the Speedmaster, but I'm not drawn to the Moonwatch per se. Like, I like the weird variants that they do.
Yeah.
But this is the Speedmaster Racing. This is like the white but silvery dial. It's really, really cool because sometimes it looks super white and other times it looks darker and it has that texture to it.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool. It's a little thick, I'm not gonna lie, but it wears really well on the wrist. And I like it's got 100-meter water resistant. It's I think like an ETA. It's based on an ETA like 7750 movement, but it's got coaxial escapement, silicone hairspring, so it's Omega modified for sure. And I mean, it runs really well. I've been timing it, and it's plus 0.5 seconds or something like that. It's pretty nice. Unacceptable. Send it back.
Seconds.
Send it back right now.
And so it has the date, which is a big thing.
Yeah, it does. Well. It has the date at 6:00, which is really nice.
And this is the previous generation of the racing. So like, because the new racings are the big,
they're like 44, and they look really nice, but they're just so big.
But they're big. So this is the 40 millimeter that has a black bezel. I love the silver, like the and black. I think it's such a really pretty combo, and it's different. Yeah, it is different. But on the wrist, I think it looks really good. I love it. I've been loving your wrist shots of it. It's fun. It's hard to get the texture. Yeah. So there's a million. I need to go through my camera. There's a lot of shots on there I need to delete, but it's a fun watch to photograph for sure. But I do. I really, really like it. So hopefully it's a keeper. I think it is. We'll see. You never know. You never know. No, it looks good. And as long as you enjoy it, that's all that matters. Yeah, and I think a lot of people dog this watch because it's thicker. I think it's close to 14 to 15 millimeters thick. A lot of that is the case back, and it sinks down in your wrist when you put it on, so it doesn't wear that thick. I know you're comparing them side by side. It is. It's so, because I brought my Speedmaster. It's a little thicker. Just maybe slightly thicker than mine. Yeah. But on the wrist, it actually, it wears great. I have no complaints about it at all. But see, I don't mind a thicker watch. I know a lot of people do. I really don't. I don't know. I guess just because, I got that Planet Ocean, and I feel like once you just kind of get used to that, then everything else is fine. Yeah, and I think it all comes down to, proportions. I've worn a lot of Seikos that on paper you're like, oh my gosh, this should be very uncomfortable. It's super thick. And then you wear it on the wrist and it feels great. So it all just depends on how the watch is shaped and the ergonomics of it. Right. Yeah. Exactly. That's why I always say you have to try stuff on. Exactly. Yeah. You can't base it off of a piece of paper. Not at all. Nope. It's what you wearing. Obviously, you're Speedy. Oh, yeah. Speedmaster. It's Speedy Sunday. Yeah. Oh, is that a thing now? I guess. I don't know. We're going to make it a thing. It's Speedy Fertella Sunday. Won't like us too much. All of a sudden we're blocked by all of the cool people in that Fertella that I talk to. Dan never messages me ever again. No, so I am also wearing my Speedmaster. So I've got the Speedmaster, the older moon phase model with the moon phase at 12 o'clock. Because I do, like you said, I feel like unless you're going really vintage with the Speedmaster, I want something different than the traditional moon watch. But I like that this one is still it still says the first watch worn on the moon on the case back, all that stuff. It's still part of the professional series. It is, yeah. And then I have it on a shark leather strap, this strap is super cool, so I'll post a picture of it. But it is from Combat Straps over on Instagram. They're based out of Canada, and they do a lot of really cool custom straps. So this was one that I reached out. It's this gray color shark. It looks great on it. Yeah, I really like this strap. I don't know. I don't wear it that much, because I only wear a lot of leather this time of year. But yeah, I really enjoy it. And I think it's cool, both of our Speedmasters here, yours is, definitely with the inspiration of the Moon Watch and has a lot of, NASA inspired attributes to it. And then mine is more of what a Speedmaster was originally made for, which was racing and cars. And it's just two totally different takes on the same watch. And I think there's a lot of purists out there that dog any version of the Speedmaster that takes away from the NASA inspiration. And it's well, they weren't made to go to the moon. They certainly did,
But they're also like they were made for like racing and timing and all these other things. So I think it's really cool.
First watch with the tachymetric index on the bezel.
Yeah.
They were literally designed.
Not that I know how to use it. But
You don't know how to use the tachymeter?
Kind of.
Okay.
Like you have to do math, don't you?
No, you don't have to do math. Okay, so say you're driving down the interstate. So like when I grew up not like the most high income household. So like my dad's car growing up didn't have a speedometer. Like the speedometer didn't work.
Okay.
So in that sort of instance, or so like if your speedometer doesn't work for whatever reason, if you're driving down the interstate,
okay,
you would start the chronograph at like when you hit the mile marker sign.
Okay.
So here in the US, I don't know how it is everywhere else.
Every mile.
But every mile, like there's mile markers on the interstate. So you would start your chronograph at mile marker 108, for example.
Okay.
You would stop your chronograph at the next mile. So mile marker 109. And then whatever like speed around the tachymetric index that your chronograph hand correlates to, that's your average speed in that mile.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, there you go.
Man,
there you go.
I just got schooled, y'all.
You're welcome.
I don't know if I'll ever use that, but I'm so glad that I know how to now.
Now you know how to. There's no math involved. It's super easy.
Yeah.
Like I think about that growing up. Like I'm like, Dad, how do you know how fast you were going? I remember like these sorts of conversations. He had this Monte Carlo. He loved this car. Car got stolen while he was in the hospital after his heart attack.
Man.
Yeah, it was just a whole like situation. I remember I was in 7th grade, so it was this whole ordeal.
Yeah.
But I was like, how do you know how fast you're going? And he just based it. I learned how to drive from my dad.
Yeah.
So like we have heavy feet. But he would just base it off of like the cars next to him, I guess. But if he had a Speedmaster, he would have been able to do that.
Yeah, that's actually really cool.
So it's super easy.
And I think I probably I may have watched a video back in the day on it and I just kind of forgot about it. And to be honest, like I don't use it, but I do use it to time other things, with the subdials on it. But that's really cool. Really neat.
There you go. Like your next road trip that Jonathan's driving, like I probably would not. I'm going to just go ahead and throw this
not do it while.
Don't do it while you drive, guys.
Don't be distracted.
But if somebody else is driving, then you can do it. Like if your wife is driving and you don't want to cause that fight, because if you call her out on it and she's not speeding, it's obviously going to be an issue because we don't like side seat drivers, y'all. You could just time her and see how fast she's going.
I like it.
There you go. Speaking of Speedmasters.
Yeah, let's jump into it.
Man. The 321 Omega, they did what we've all asked for. And I put an article on the website because I find this watch so fascinating, and the fact that, to me, Omega listened to what people wanted. They put out the 321 caliber. They introduced it last year. Then they put it in this ridiculous platinum watch that none of us are ever going to see realistically. And now they put it in the stainless steel, and it's modeled exactly after the Ed White Speedmaster. And I love this watch. I think it's so cool. It's everything that we all had hoped for. It looks so vintage. It's a smaller case size. It's like 39.7, 19 millimeter lugs, which would just drive me insane because nothing I own is that way.
Yeah, but I feel like there's so many. Yeah,
to what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
That's where you are right now with your Speedmasters. Yeah. And I had to buy all new stripes for it.
Yeah.
But it's absolutely gorgeous with the 321 caliber. Problem, it's $14,100.
Problem for some.
Not
for everyone.
The reality is, so Omega is only producing so much of these 321 calibers every year. So this is not limited edition, which is a big deal. We all know Omega gets their, they get an appropriate amount of grief because they historically do a lot of limited editions.
Yeah.
This isn't a limited edition. The Bond watch that they just put out isn't a limited edition. So I think that we're going to see a trend of Omega getting away from limited edition watches. Yeah.
But also in saying that it's not a limited edition doesn't mean that it's going to be easy to get.
No. So I've heard they're only making 1,000.
Yeah.
321 calibers.
They're going to be gone real quick.
A year. That's including the platinum pieces. So 1,000, Omega's kind of moving into this whole Rolex Daytona market here.
Getting on the list.
You're going to have to get on a list somewhere.
How long do you think that's going to last? Do you think there's going to be a list for a long time? It's going to sustain?
So.
You think so?
Because people want this watch. And the fact that there's only going to be 1,000 of them made a year means that people will wait because obviously the secondary market is going to be ridiculous for it.
Yeah.
It's so limited at this point. It's what everybody wants. So, I mean, Speedmasters hold value pretty decently as is. So something like this that is super limited. So 1,000 pieces worldwide. So the US, for example, may get 80.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, and people complain about the price and the availability, but this is not an entry level Omega.
No,
this isn't. So I mean, the price point is what it is, and if they're, like you said, they're only making 1,000, then I don't know. I don't feel like the price is justified, but I understand it.
I agree.
I understand it.
Yeah,
and I think if you look at where Omega is trying to go, then it makes sense.
Yeah. I agree.
I'm not baffled by it by any means.
I mean, I probably wouldn't spend, but
no, I wouldn't either.
$14,000 on any kind of watch.
Well, no, and for me, like, I'm not a huge Ed White fan. I didn't like the watch. I wasn't in love with it before, so this watch is not for me. But it could be for the watch enthusiast that is a massive fan and wants to have one that is not a vintage piece. They don't have to worry about service costs immediately with one. They want a brand new one. They want one that's theirs. They're the only owner of it. So I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
I get why they did it.
Well, and the price it's somewhat justified because there's one person who's like doing these movements from what I understand. So,
okay.
I mean, it's not like it's mass produced in a factory somewhere. So like this is basically kind of as close to handmade, as possible that for a big watch brand like Omega to get, I feel. Aesthetically, I love the watch. I love that they have a ceramic bezel too because it just makes it practical. And then they use white enamel. I bet that bezel looks absolutely insane in person. The fact that it has the white enamel plus the ceramic.
Yeah.
And there's Fotina, but it's barely there.
It's barely there. And I think it's done really well. I think it's a tribute to the original Ed Whites that probably had tritium, right? So they did have patina. Well, now that Omega's using Superluminova, it's not going to ever do that. So to add a little bit of that Fotina to it, I feel like this one is a lot more well done than the Bond.
Oh, for sure.
It was really overdone. Heavy. This is just slightly colored, and I do like it. I think it adds to the appeal of the watch for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a good look overall.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I mean, I hate that, like, realistically probably won't really see them in person for a long time.
You never know. We might know someone.
Yeah.
Gets one.
Maybe. We might know a guy. Or two. I bet Floatlight will get one.
Probably. He gets everything. Yeah.
Everything when we go over and visit.
We're
can we spend like 2 days borrowing all of your watches? We're going to walk around London with like 8 watches on each wrist.
Yeah.
Just so we can try them on.
I definitely would not let us do that. Yeah.
That moonshine gold I have to see, like, for real. It's the only person I know with one.
Yeah, same. But I like the watch a lot. I think it's fantastic looking, and for someone that is a fan of the Ed Whites but wants a modern interpretation of the watch, I think this is a home run for Omega.
I agree. I definitely agree. I like that it seems like Omega is listening to people now. Yeah. The fact that this is a watch and the James Bond watch are watches that very normally and very easily could have been limited edition watches.
Oh, absolutely.
And they're not. I mean, to me, I have so much more respect to the brand now that they're kind of getting away from that. And I mean, I've always been a big fan of the brand anyways, but I do really love that they're kind of getting away from that notion that everything has to be a limited edition watch.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at pictures of the movement. The movement is so gorgeous.
It really is. I think that, again, I don't agree with the pricing, but I also wasn't shocked by it. If we look back at 2019 and the watches that Omega released that year, this is probably one of the cheaper ones, to be honest with you. So it's not out there. I think people forget they are a luxury brand and they have the right to ask what they're going to ask for these watches, and at the end of the day you're either willing to pay for it or not. So I don't know what would have made people happy as far as the price of the watch. They're not going to ask the same price that the watches are selling for on the vintage market, that's for sure. And like you said, you talked about the fact that they're only making so many of the movements per year. There's like one person working on them. Well, then that's where the cost is, I'm sure.
Exactly.
But yeah, it is what it is. I like the watch. I think it's beautiful.
If anybody has one they want to send our way to look at. Just kidding. I wouldn't want to be responsible.
No, me neither.
I haven't seen a box for it yet. I'm very curious as to like what the box is going to look like, because Omega does like some really phenomenal boxes. I highly doubt this is just going in like a standard. Even their standard box, I will say, is gorgeous. It's like the zebra wood box. So it's gorgeous, but I do wonder like what kind of really over the top packaging Omega is going to put this in. I love Omega boxes.
I do too. I've really like the we were just talking about this earlier, the brands that are now sending you, you know, travel cases instead of a watch box, and that I do like, but there's still something about getting a nice, cool, fancy box with your watch.
Just so I can set it under my bed with all my other
pretty
watch
much.
boxes.
I mean, you can't even take anything out of it. It's like the pillows are like sewn into the box, so it's really just useless.
Well, and the problem is like I buy men's watches and then I size them down for my wrist, so they don't even fit on the pillows anymore because the pillows are so
you can't
big.
Close them.
That's my problem with finding most like watch boxes. Like when I was looking for like a watch box, I couldn't fit most of my watches on the pillows. Like it's really. These are the struggles.
I always just have to like leave the clasp or the bracelet like kind of open or not. Yeah, not all the way.
Yeah,
to
but
fit
who
it.
wants to do that?
I know.
I want to
too much work.
Close it. But even so, some of the Omega boxes lately have been coming with like the little travel pouches. So it comes with like the huge box.
Yeah.
But then it comes with like a travel roll inside the box.
Oh, well, that's nice.
Which is very nice, and it's very convenient.
Yeah.
I wouldn't use it because it's like part of like the collectability, I guess, of the box. You know what I mean?
So you think you might sell the watch down the line? Is that
I
what
might
you're saying?
flip it. I might pull a cat and Adrian and flip it. Sure might. No, I'm not buying this watch, y'all. I'm not buying this watch. I have watch buying goals this year, and this watch is not on them. Basically, I just don't want to buy a lot of watches.
I was gonna say, what are your goals?
No, not buying
the
watches.
That's funny.
Not buying, but I'm not gonna say that I'm doing a fast. Another watch I am definitely not buying this year is this Moser Streamliner. I woke up the other day at like, to go to the gym, so like stupid early, 4:30. And I felt like I woke up in the twilight zone because I knew like Moser was announcing something. So I get up, I get on Instagram, whatever. And everybody is oohing and awing over this watch. And I was like, what is going on in the world? I thought I was going crazy.
Yeah.
And it was insane. This watch is so bad, y'all.
I don't like it at all.
It's not good. I don't know.
It's very 80s to me. And I understand that like Moser's trying to do something really different. And it is. It's nothing like anything else they've done. Yeah. I don't like it.
I will definitely give credit for trying something different. Like I have no problem with. Like brands trying something different.
The Try Hard Award.
It doesn't mean the A for Effort Award. It doesn't mean that like everything is good.
Yeah.
But I mean, I saw so many like positive reviews on this watch and everything else. And I was just like, what is going on? Movement wise, this watch is insane.
Yeah.
Like the movement is absolutely ridiculous on this watch. I love that it has an exhibition case back. And then I didn't realize until I was reading about it later that this is an automatic watch. Because when you look at the movement, there's no rotor. You don't see a rotor.
It's in between.
The rotor, it's like sandwiched in between the dial.
I think this is the first watch to do that.
That's so freaking cool.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that. But also this movement is going to be a disaster, I feel like, in the grand scheme of things. It has like, I'm trying to find how many parts it has. It has like 400 and something parts to it.
It's also the world's first automatic chronograph that has a center display that features a flyback function for both the minutes and the seconds, I believe, too, which is pretty cool. Design-wise of the dial, I just don't like the case. I don't like the bracelet. it's just very dated to me. And I kind of compared this to like the Genta looking back in the day that they did, and with the integrated bracelets, and I don't love it at all.
Mm-hmm. So 434 components, 55 jewels, which means it's going to go through some servicing issues for sure. But yeah, like you said, I don't know. I just don't like the aesthetics of it. A big deal was made about the bracelet. So, you know, they got on that whole, the integrated sports watch. The bracelet to me looks like one of those Spiral bracelets from back in the day.
Yeah.
So it looks very cheap
Twist
to
of flex.
me. Yes. Like it looks so cheap to me. I don't know. I just don't like this watch at all. I can appreciate the movement behind it. I mean, to me, it's so different from Moser, which again, you know, kudos to them for doing something different. It is limited to 100 pieces, and I'm sure they're probably all sold out by now. But to me, Moser is like more of a dress watch. And like, I know they did that diver last year, but even their diver looks like a dress watch to me. So it's just so different for them. We'll see. I don't know. I'm not a fan of it. Probably will never see one in person. I don't even like I keep seeing people keep sending me pictures of it like on the wrist and things like that. And I just don't like this watch.
It's not about size. It's not about proportions. It's about the design of the watch. And I don't feel like that's not going to change with me seeing it in person. I don't like the design of the watch at all. I don't like the hands. I don't like the pushers. I don't like the bracelet. I don't like anything about it.
Also, it's only a 60-minute chronograph. Yeah. Like, I really don't understand. Maybe that's just so different. I don't know. Like, it's such a clean looking watch. Yes, because there are no subdials to it. But the only time, like the last time I used my chronograph was cooking my Thanksgiving or my Christmas turkey, which takes longer than 60 minutes. So like this would be a real big issue for me. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, I do like that the like how accurate the chronograph is and that like each minute jumps. I feel like that's really cool. But again, that just comes down to how cool the movement is.
Yeah, the movement is stunning. That's for sure.
Yeah. And
the watch is based on, I think, train cars from the 30s and 40s and 50s, I believe.
Yeah.
And I can see that in the watch. I just don't like it.
Like
again, this is just our opinions, though. Yeah. I mean, and everyone's entitled to their own. We're not a fan of it, and I definitely, the price point for what it is as a sports watch, it's hard to justify like wearing this watch as a daily wearer at that price, which is
$39,900.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's different. Did you catch, so the day after this watch release on Friday, our friends at Scottish Watches did an interview.
I didn't listen to it yet.
You hadn't listened
to it?
Shame
on me.
Shame. So they did an interview with CEO Edward Malin, I believe is how you pronounce his name. If that's wrong, I'm sorry. But yeah, no, it was really good. And they interviewed him the day of the release. So kudos to our friends for getting that kind of really cool interview.
Yeah.
But it was interesting just hearing his experience with Moser, because I think he's only been with the company for a few years now. And interesting hearing their ideas behind this. And like they're a brand who doesn't take themselves overly serious, which is weird because their watches look like they would be overly serious, minus that whole like the Apple Watch and stuff like that they do. So I can appreciate that, and I can appreciate, you know, a lot of the ideas behind it. I mean, I'm not saying that the watch is just the worst watch ever. It's just, it's not me and it's not you.
Yeah.
You know, like I remember texting you. I was like, please tell me you don't like this watch. Like I feel like I'm going crazy. Yeah. Everybody was loving this watch. And but yeah, so like definitely head over to I'll put links in the show notes, but head over and check out that interview because it was really good. Definitely interesting to hear from him and kind of like his inspiration behind this watch and working with the movement and everything else. It was a really cool interview.
You'll have to go and take a listen to that episode for sure.
For sure. But a watch that came out that we both like.
I feel like it's rare that we're different. Like we either both like it, we both dislike it.
I don't know what we would do.
We have found out that we have a disagreement, y'all. I like green. Catlin hates green.
That's fair.
We were talking about this earlier. We finally found a disagreement. I don't know. I just have like a fondness for green watches.
No, not feeling it.
Yeah.
No way.
I keep going back and forth on this Tudor Harrods. I texted her one day. I'm like, I'm not going to get it. I'm not going to go for it. You know,
you texted me like yesterday and said,
and then today my mind's changed again.
Every day about this.
I don't know what it is about it. I feel like I got to go for it.
Okay.
It's calling my name.
All right.
Today, at least.
Today. Tomorrow. I'm going to get to work here in a little bit. Later on this afternoon, you're going to be like, you know what? No, I don't need it. I'm not going to do it. Oh, yeah. These are the struggles. Man. But I'm the same way. Like I was just talking about, I was talking about this yesterday when we got to Scotland. Like I really want to buy a watch while we're there.
Yeah.
And firstly, I feel terrible for whatever salesperson at whatever watch store we have. Because I'm so I agonize over watch purchases. Yeah. So bad.
That's why you need to figure it out now.
But then I'm going to go
prepare yourself.
On. So you have James Porter and Son.
Yeah.
And we know the watch dude too who works there. And they have every Doxa. They're a Doxa AD.
Oh, that turquoise.
And Doxa is really
blue.
calling my name right now.
Yeah.
And I need you guys to quit freaking posting pictures of your Doxas on Instagram because I can't take it. And so, I'm going to want to see all of those. And then I still want to see the anordains, but at least we get to see those that wind up. Yeah. Struggle. I agonize way too much.
Yeah.
The pressure.
I feel like that's a good thing to do, though. Because otherwise, then you're just buying watches all the time.
Right.
So it's good to agonize and,
I don't feel like I've ever bought a watch over a G-Shock or a Seiko in a store. I've always bought
in
online.
A store.
So I feel like a larger purchase, I will definitely be agonizing.
You're shaking handing that credit card over.
Not even. I'm just gonna wind up with 8 watches.
Yeah. Oh gosh, it's either go all in
feast or famine. All right. So back to this watch that we like. So Oris has a new limited edition watch, and I love that they're keeping with their conservation efforts. They're just one of those brands that's just kind of doing things right. They really do focus on the environment, which I have a lot of respect for. And this is their Lake
Baikal.
Yeah. Right. We Googled this right before, and it's how it looks.
Yeah.
But then I feel like there's so much pressure to get it right. So it's another version of the Oris Aquis. It's a 43.5 millimeter case size. Which for my wrist does not work. I don't know what it is about the Oris Aquis. I just can't. The larger size on my wrist doesn't look good.
Even the 39. Have you tried that one?
I didn't like the 39 in any other dial color except for that mint. Once I had that mint one on,
do they do the mint? They do it in a smaller. They do a 36.
No, the 36 is way too small. I can't do it.
Okay.
But the 39.
The 39
in the mint is perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
I figured I would want a 39 in this watch.
The 43 is very
very large.
Big. Yeah. Because it's a bulkier watch anyways. But for a lot of you guys with bigger wrists, I mean, it would definitely look very good.
It's a beautiful watch.
It's beautiful. It has that gradient blue dial.
It's almost fume looking. I don't know if it is for sure, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it definitely has a fume look. It's limited to 1,999 pieces. And all the proceeds of this go towards, what is the name of the foundation? Point Number One, which is a Lake Baikal conservation project. The lake is really cool. And I didn't know this. This is the largest freshwater lake in the world. It holds 20% of the world's fresh water.
How crazy is that?
Yeah, the world is a crazy place. It's so crazy. But this watch is absolutely beautiful. I love the case back. So Oris does a lot of these really gorgeous case backs. Of course, they have the case backs that are made out of the recycled plastic on some of their pieces. But this case back is made to look like the glass basically that covers the lake for months out of the year. It's just a beautiful piece.
Yeah, I think so too. And I'm glad that Oris is continuing with this tradition of supporting these causes, and I think it's a really cool thing to do. I'd like to see a lot more brands take part in something like this, and it's a limited edition, but it makes sense because they're trying to raise money for a cause. So they want to do a limited run and do that with it. And I think it looks fantastic. The blue is just really, it's not like a navy blue. It's almost slight turquoise color to it, I guess. Would you say turquoise or?
I would say teal.
Teal, that's the word. Yeah.
Yeah, I
teal,
think
jaguar
definitely
teal.
very teal. But then, like you said, it has like a fume color, so like it gets very light to the center of the dial. I bet in person this thing's going to be absolutely stunning.
I need to try one of these on. I don't think I've ever tried on an Aquis.
You haven't?
No.
Well, because
I'm interested to see was the quality. The bracelet looks really nice on it.
It is nice.
It is.
No, they're definitely very nice. My hang up on the bracelets is the high polished centerlink.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a fan of that in general.
They do really cool rubber too, though.
They do. The rubber straps are amazing. But for me, like I'm just so rough on my watches that a high polished centerlink is just not.
Yeah, that would kind of
good
throw me off a
idea.
little bit too.
Like, I mean, those things show fingerprints. So, like, scratches you could see from a mile away. But, yeah, like you said, the rubber. But for me, I wear bracelets so much that having a bracelet option is really important to me.
Yeah.
So I don't know that I would ever be able to really add an Aquis into the collection.
Yeah.
As much as I really love the Aquis.
As long as they're doing center polish links, you mean? Yeah. Well, maybe they'll change it. Maybe they'll do some brush.
I mean, I could always have the bracelet brushed.
Oh, that's true.
That's an option. It's super easy to do too.
Yourself? Or would you?
You could do it yourself. But in this case, I would probably go take it. Take it to friends of mine who are like actual watchmakers and not like me with some Scotch-Brite. So I would definitely take it somewhere and have it done. But that might be an option too to look at. But yeah, you should definitely. You have to go all the way to Cool Springs though to try on.
I know
any
that's a bummer
because nobody right in Nashville does. Only that Grogan's, I think, in Cool Springs.
Okay, yeah, I need to go because there's so many dials. Oh, and we saw a few when we were in San Francisco at Toppers, but we were so busy I didn't get a chance to try any of them on.
Yeah,
and just the dials are just amazing.
Yeah, they're very pretty watches, and they're built very well. Like the quality is very good.
Yeah,
it was just a size thing, like the 36, because I'm so used to wearing larger watches.
You've talked about this for quite a while because you really like several of the models they do, and I've heard you say time and time again, you're like, oh, it's just the size, and then hopefully like
the 40 millimeter mint is everything.
That's it.
Except
I love that dial.
Bracelet.
Yeah,
the mint dial is so good.
Yeah.
It really is. I absolutely love it.
I like that mint green, and they do the pointer date that also has like this mint green dial. I just love that play with these colors.
I won't even say mint green. That's where I'm at in my green relationship. It's mint.
Oh,
I won't even call it mint green. It's mint.
It's mint.
No.
You won't even say the word green.
We won't say it. It's not green. There's no green to it.
Okay, whatever. Oh, these are like polished outer links, not even center links on this one. Yeah, it's kind of opposite, but they still have it.
Yeah, we're gonna have to brush
that might be harder to do, actually.
We're gonna have to brush all that. Oh man, are we? Are we gonna get into it?
Oh, let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. Feel like I gotta clear my throat. I'm gonna pull out my soapbox real quick. So Hodinkee they had the first female talking watches, which aired earlier this week or last week, with Bethany Frankel, who is not only, so she's probably most commonly known by people who don't follow her or like know her. She's a reality TV star from The Real Housewives of New York, but she's a very solid entrepreneur. I mean, even before she's had like her celebrity famed with The Real Housewives. Yeah. She does the Skinny Girl brand. She does a few other things. She's a really interesting person, just kind of in general. Her Talking Watches episode, I don't know. Like, I guess, like, we're the only people who liked it. I don't know. No, there's a lot of people who've liked it, but it's gotten a lot of shit. And I don't like how much grief that it's been given.
Yeah. I don't even know where to start on it. I don't because either. I feel like so many
have written down like an idea of what to talk about and how. So let's talk about the episode in general.
Okay.
So Kara hosted it.
Yeah, congrats. So Kara.
Exactly. So this is the first female episode of Talking Watches. She has, I mean, an absolutely phenomenal collection of pieces.
Mhm.
During the episode, she talks about how she collects watches, and she's very thoughtful about collecting, that she
Yeah.
really hunts down a piece. You know, she waits until she finds something exactly what she wants, and then she hunts it down. And I love that during the episode, she jokes about how different it is between her and her boyfriend who collects watches.
Yeah.
Like she says that he sees it as like a buffet, like a Las Vegas buffet, I think is what she says.
Mhm.
And he's just collecting, buying things and never satisfied. Versus she really takes the time to find exactly what she wants and then hunts it down, which I feel like I need to take that kind of mindset.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
we all do. We all just have this habit of just buying and never really being satisfied. I mean, you've gone through the same thing, and you're starting to fine tune your collecting more.
Yeah.
But her watches are absolutely gorgeous. She has some phenomenal pieces. A lot of
She
like
has some great pieces that are, I'm jealous of her collection, to be honest with
very
you.
jealous. This Rolex Daytona that she has, the one that has the cream colored out,
yeah.
I've never seen that
Yeah.
before, and it is absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
She has some quartz pieces. She does talk about, you know, the convenience of having quartz pieces, and I get it. You know, she talks about that she wears these watches mostly as an accessory, so there's a convenience to not having to, like, what watch was it she had that was a manual wound? I forget. She had one that was manual wound, and she was joking that like she can't stand it because it's always wrong. And so like there is a convenience to having the quartz pieces. So she does have a few quartz pieces that
Which
she
I
wears.
get. I totally get.
Yeah, man, most women do.
Yeah.
And it is what it is.
Yeah.
Like she has that gorgeous quartz Patek Nautilus that has that grayed out.
Yeah.
Gray's the color.
Yeah. That was actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
I didn't realize they did a quartz. So I had to like,
either.
I did a little research and because people were like calling it out as a fake. I was like, I don't think it is. And it's not. Like, it's a real watch.
I'm sure Hodinkee is posting fake watches.
Yeah,
like
for real.
They could have edited anything out, but I'm sure they kept that fake ass watch in there, y'all. Y'all are so quick to hate on Hodinkee.
Okay,
man.
and let's...
Are we just screw the pot? Screw the interview. Let's just go into it.
So let's talk about the hate for how she obtained these watches, right? So people were mad that exes gave her these watches. Well, you know what? I'm going to defend her for a second because I think that it shouldn't matter how you get a watch. So what? Her boyfriends gave her these watches. She cares about them, obviously. Otherwise, she would have sold them or got rid of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she genuinely likes watches. And while I'm not like the biggest Bethany Frankel fan, I think that's really... It's like a testament to her being a watch enthusiast. She's not like you or me, clearly. Like, she doesn't care anything about the movement. She may not even care about the history of the watch, but she likes watches. And honestly, like, if you look at females in Hollywood in general or celebrities, nobody's wearing a watch.
Yeah.
So the fact that she's got this collection, like, that alone should be a testament to the fact that she is a watch collector.
Yeah, I mean, what defines a watch collector?
Exactly.
Do you have to quote reference numbers? Hey guys, I'm not a watch collector then, because if anybody asks the reference number I get asked the reference number on my Speedmaster all the time, and this has like the old short Omega reference number.
Yeah.
Don't even know it. I
Yeah.
have to look it up every time somebody asks me for it.
Also,
I
like,
can
the
quote-
Omega numbers are like 15.
Well, this one is
That one's short?
This is the
Like
old
the 5?
short number. Yeah. Like, no, I
Or
think it
6.
was like 6 or 7
6
numbers.
or 7, yeah.
Maybe 8.
Doesn't
I don't
even
know.
matter.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't
I have
matter.
to look it up. And it's
Yeah.
my damn watch. I can only quote maybe 2 Rolex reference numbers.
Yeah.
Like, guys, does that make me less of an enthusiast
No.
because I don't quote reference numbers,
No.
or I can't break down like a whole movement? Like, I know more about movements than probably a lot of men in this hobby.
Yeah.
But I'm still not breaking them down. The reality is this is such a niche hobby anyways, right?
Mhm.
Like, there's not a lot. We all know there's not a lot of us who are into this hobby. Of that, there's not a lot of us who are like really, really into this hobby. And of that, there's like maybe half a quarter of
If
a percent
that.
of females in this hobby.
Yeah.
So what's it matter that she's not quoting all the references, or she talks about buying a watch because she likes. Here's a newsflash, guys. What watch do you have that you bought only because of the movement, not
Yeah.
because you liked the way it
Movement
looked?
is probably the last thing I look at when considering a watch.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say it because I'm all about the aesthetics. If I don't like the look of the watch, I'm not getting it. Doesn't matter what kind of movement's inside of it.
I'm not buying a watch so it sits in a vault. I'm buying a watch to wear it, and I want to like how it looks. I hate how much grief she's gotten. And going to the boyfriend thing. So first of all, I'd be fine if any of my ex-boyfriends wanted to start buying me watches. Like, sign me up. Where's that dating app? I don't know. Like, what have I done in my life?
Can I get that Hulk, please?
Right, exactly. But so somebody made a comment, and I've seen this several times, like kind of insinuating that, like, you know, hang on, I'm trying to kind of find it. But, you know, essentially all her watches are line up of watches purchased by exes, and there seems to be a lot of them. And it was very slut-shamey. And shame on you guys. She lists 3 exes in there, one of which is her current boyfriend. So she mentions watches purchased by 3 people. Yeah. Like, if you're calling that a lot, then don't look at my dating history. Like,
it's not
I mean, it's just, it's so ridiculous. Why are we slut-shaming her because she has watches purchased by exes and there's more than just one? Yeah. Like, please tell me you dated one person in your life and then married that person and moved on. I mean, it's really disappointing, the reaction to it. And everybody's like, oh, this is the first female that Hodinkee could get. How many other females other than Ellen? Like, and I keep waiting for people to suggest, you know, somebody else. Yeah. The only suggestion I've seen is Ellen. Yeah. What if Ellen doesn't like movements? What if she just buys watches because she just likes the way they look? Are you guys going to give her the same amount of
As far as, like, I know Ellen might buy her watches based on, like, just as a fashion accessory and to have bling. I mean, I don't think so. I don't think so. She has like some serious watches. Yeah. You're buying a Newman Daytona. There's probably a reason why. But I mean, other than Ellen, that's the only suggestion I see. And the reason is because there's not a lot of women in this hobby. So Hodinkee found a woman that is in the spotlight that likes watches. Why not feature her on the show?
Who talks about how she's just now realizing that this is a hobby. Like, she talks about this during the interview, that she realized that there's other people out there who like watches, and that she had found the Hodinkee website and things like that. And I think that's super cool because so many of us we were all at that point at one point in our journey in this hobby. Like, we all just started. We all just happened to find out, hey, we're not freaking weirdos sitting around looking at watches all the time. There's other people who do this too. Yeah. And then, hey, we find Hodinkee, we find a blog to watch, we found Fratello. Yeah, I mean, it's very frustrating, the kind of feedback that it's gotten. And I feel like it's very off-putting for a lot of, first of all, I'll guarantee there's a lot of women who have watched this video who've never bought a watch in their life because they know who Bethany Frankel is. Bethany Frankel is a big celebrity with a lot of women who watch The Real Housewives. So I think that it's a great way to get more women into the hobby. But, you know, then women see comments like this and think, oh, well, this is just a hobby full of a bunch of jerks.
Yeah, essentially. I mean, that's definitely what it seemed like. And, you know, yes, at the end of the day, she started out as a reality TV star, but Hodinkee's also featured chefs on the channel that are reality TV stars as well. Yeah. So let's not be so quick to judge. And I think the comments were uncalled for. Most of them were. I don't think there was anything constructive out of them. They were just kind of, you know, shaming her for not being a real watch enthusiast. And who's to, you know, you're no one to say that this person is or isn't an enthusiast. Some people are different levels. I think we're all at different levels. You and me are on a different level. And that's just the way it is. And you can't call out someone because they're not a purist and they don't know anything about the movement and whatever. It doesn't matter. They care about watches. She obviously has an affection for watches. She has more than one. So I don't know very many people that have even one watch. So that alone should just go to show you that she does like the hobby, and if she's going to get more into it, then that's awesome. But I think the video was well done. I appreciate Cara being on there, and I think that, you know, or at least I would hope that Hodinkee continues with this and we see more women on the channel. But the fact of the matter is, it's like, it's hard. Yeah. And if they're going to get all these comments from it, then you're going to really shut down. Like, let's clap a hand for Hodinkee for featuring a woman on the channel. Yeah. It's so stupid.
So stupid. It's been like I had to quit looking at all the stuff for it. It's so
well, then
annoying.
People were like reaching out to us and because we posted about it.
Oh, like how?
And they were mad at us
we
for
support this video, or why do
well,
we
why
like
why
it?
should we not support it?
Yeah.
I mean, who are we to say like what kind of collector she is?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I just don't feel like we should. I feel like this is the part of the hobby that gives all of us a really bad name, is it comes off very, very snobbish. And like, this is a hobby that could easily be taken as full of a bunch of snobs. We're all buying watches that are very expensive. Like, a lot of the watches we buy are very expensive, which could be very pretentious of us. But I find that this hobby is full of some of the most amazing, down-to-earth people. But then seeing these same people be snobby towards somebody who's not necessarily on their level and calling her like, or insinuating that she's not a real hobbyist or a real enthusiast, you know, it's really disappointing to me.
Yeah, definitely.
You don't have to like the video. You don't have to like Bethany Frankel as a person. You don't have to like it, whatever. The reality is, like, it's still just featuring somebody who's in this hobby. There's not a lot of us women in this hobby anyways. No. And no, they're not going to interview some Joe Schmo or Jane Doe from the street because they're a business. They are trying to get views. They need this, you know. So yeah, it's going to be a celebrity. So if anybody can come up with a celebrity other than Ellen, like, let us know. We'll try. I don't know if anybody wants to come on to it too, but I mean, I don't know. It's so frustrating. Just skip the damn video. Don't watch it. You don't have to make me.
Honestly, like, I've watched probably most, if not all, of the Talking Watches episodes since they started, and to be honest, she knew more about her watches than I've seen some people on there that didn't know anything, and they simply just, I went on this trip and I bought this watch, and then I was here and I bought, there was no backstory to the watches. At least she had somewhat of a backstory. Yeah.
Everything. And I love that she had the watches from her dad. We both have watches from our dads in our collection. And I think that's very sentimental, and I don't know. Like, I'm just frustrated.
Yeah, I'm not a Bethany Frankel fan, but I liked the episode. I thought it was good. And I'm glad that they were featuring a woman, and I hope that they continue to do that.
They continue.
And you know what? If having her on the show brings more women to their channel and brings more women into the hobby, then I'm absolutely all for that.
Yep.
Absolutely 100%.
Agreed.
Cool. I feel like we could talk about this for like forever. It is just so stupid. And
it's so frustrating.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't get what people wanted from it. I really don't. Like, women buy watches because they like the way they look. I buy watches because I like the way they look.
Same. Sorry to break it to you guys. I buy watches because of the way they look.
Yeah. If I don't like the way it looks, I'm not going to wear it. So why would I buy it? I mean, so movement really is like one of the last things. I buy watches that I couldn't tell you what movement's in them. I just like the way they look. So, y'all, don't be mean. Just be nice.
Yeah, just be nice at the end of the day. Golly.
If you don't have anything
I get it.
To say, don't say anything at all. Didn't your mamas tell you that? Jeez.
Well, and I think for one, we watched the video, and like YouTube comments are just in a whole nother realm of itself. But then it was the DMs. Yeah, it was the DMs that we were getting personally.
And the comments on our post about it.
Yeah, like people that listen to our show were upset about it. And I don't think you should be. Like, this is a step in the right direction. Granted, you may or may not like her, but this is a step in the right direction.
I agree.
Head down.
Head down, heavy sigh. You know, honestly, I would say for a lot of you men who know your wives watch The Real Housewives, let them watch this video.
Yeah.
And then, hey, be surprised when your wife is a little bit more interested in watches. Yeah. You know? Like, I think that this video is a great way of getting a whole market of women who would have never looked at a watch before into watches. Yeah. Bethany Frankel talks about wearing them just as an accessory. It doesn't have to be, you know, a watch that I mean, I think she even says she doesn't, you know, most of the time she doesn't check the time on them because everybody has phones and everything else. And honestly, I get guilty of that, just pulling my phone out to check the time, even though I have a watch on my wrist. I mean, most women do see it as more of an accessory.
That's
and I think
fine.
That this is such a great way to encourage more women into the hobby. So I would say, whether you like the video or not, if you know your wife watches these Real Housewives, we all secretly do, all right? Like, I'm just going to throw this out there. Like, we all watch, all of us women have seen a episode of Real Housewives, some city or other at some point. I watch it to feel better about myself because I might be broke compared to all these women, but my life is so normal.
But she also owns her own business, you know,
Yes.
besides, you know, being a Real Housewives
Right.
star, she's a business owner and a multi-million-dollar business owner at that. So, like, she's done well for herself.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I don't think it's beneath Hodinkee to, like, feature her on the show at all. I mean, people were just rude.
People are rude.
God.
So rude.
Anyway.
So how do we move on from here?
I don't know. I feel like this is, like, such a sad note.
And now that like my heart's racing and I'm all like pissed off and stressed out, let's move on to like how we're gonna do the podcast for the rest of the year.
So one thing, we may not always have a Friday episode anymore, guys, because we want to focus a little bit more on reviews and watches that we get in. And so there may be a Friday episode. We'll call it a bonus episode.
Yeah.
How about that?
Also, we would kind of like to go back to having a little bit of a quality of life. I'm not gonna lie, guys. Like the Christmas and the New Year's weeks were nice having just one episode. And we love doing this. We really do, like, honestly. But there's a lot of behind the scenes that goes into it. For realistically, for every hour of recording, there's 4 or 5 hours of editing. Yeah. And when you consider that we have full-time jobs, you know, we have families and things like that, we would like to have some sort of social life occasionally,
here and there,
maybe. Yeah, so we just want to, and I feel like it'll keep us from getting burnt out too, and and it'll keep our content just at a higher quality.
Yeah, and that was my goal. You know, there were times that we were struggling to find content for the Friday episode. Yeah. You know, we were trying to find Q&As and things like that. And that's still a thing we might do. We still might do like a once a month Q&A, and then we'll have, you know, we may do an interview for the Tuesday episode, and we'll come and talk to you guys on Friday. And especially as Baselworld gets closer, we'll have a ton of content, I'm sure, to talk about. But we just may not always be there. And again, it comes down to quality. Let's give you guys better quality instead of just trying to scrounge up something to talk about. Just so we have something. And I think you guys will appreciate that too. We're just not on here rambling, because we can certainly do that too.
Yeah, we can. For real.
And then spend like 6 hours editing that ramble.
Yes.
Which is not any fun.
No, but did we even talk about watches at all today? No, I think it's going to be really great. We have some big plans for this year, some big things that we plan on doing and want to accomplish. So the content level is just going to go up, honestly. Like, we're going to have some really awesome interviews lined up for this year that we can't wait to talk about a little bit more. Yeah, and we hope you guys just kind of continue to support us. We did a thing. And we went over to YouTube. Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. I was like, what do we do? Yeah. Well, I was scared for a second. We're not recording our podcast, by the way. This is not happening. Y'all, I'm in like my PJs right now, actually. So the only reason I'm dressed is because I have to go to work. So otherwise, I was just going to come over. No, we're not going to record the podcast. And I get this. I get asked so much about it. And the reason is because, A, we don't want to be presentable. I do a lot of cutting and editing out of the show. I don't want to have to do that for video too. Yeah. And I just don't have the time. I have a full-time job. I just can't do video. But we did talk about doing maybe a live stream on Instagram, and then we'll probably post that on YouTube once a month or something like that too. And we'll post the audio on YouTube. We might do an occasional, like you said, the live stream. You know, we may do like some little videos while we're out and about. Yeah. Like when we do travel and stuff like that. Absolutely. Easton, we have the YouTube is there. Yeah. Maybe we'll do something more with it later. Yeah. And if not, it's still there. It's there. And we've had a lot of requests to put the show on YouTube. So now it's up there. Yeah. So go over to YouTube and subscribe. That's what you do on YouTube. I think subscribe. So subscribe to us at 10 and 2. You can turn on the little alert things. Yeah, if you want to. If you want to, go for it. Yeah, just go follow along. Yeah, we'll make announcements on here. Like the more, I don't even know anything about YouTube. What do you mean? As far as that. So eventually we could do live videos on YouTube. Like instead of an Instagram live, we could do like a YouTube live. Oh, really? I don't know. But you have to have like so many followers and so many like hours of views. Okay. I don't know. I just kind of saw this. This is a whole new situation for us. So if you guys could have seen the frustration of uploading the first episode, which took forever, and then I was at 99% forever. And then it just kicked it out saying it was too long because the account was unverified. So I had to restart the whole thing all over again.
Bummer.
Oh, man. But yeah, so that's the thing now. I don't know. I want to focus a little bit more on writing this year and doing some stuff with the website, which I feel like for the first week has been really, really good. There's been like 3 articles posted on the website. So
and
if you guys want
keep writing.
Like I was terrible about it last year. I will fully admit to that. But I really do we want to grow the website and we love the articles that come out from you guys are really interesting. They're different perspectives. So if you have an idea for an article or a watch review or if something comes out like this Bethany Frankel interview, our friend at Watchmaker's Daughter was really passionate about this and sent us an article for it. If there's something that you're passionate about, send us an email over at info@10and2.com and we can talk about it and see, just kind of what direction you want to take it into. Make sure that we don't have anything else that's kind of similar being posted.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited this year.
I think we're going to do some big
2020 big things.
Yeah.
For sure. Also, 2020, no more procrastinating.
We'll try. It's a goal.
I feel like this needs to be an achievable goal for me.
Trying to get the Apple Watch to help me, It's not working so far.
It's not working. But you're really great at texting.
I am really great. My response time is super fast.
It's super fast now. It's amazing. I can always get a hold of you now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that wraps up our podcast today. So head over to our website, www.10and2.com. There's content there now, articles. We've had a couple of really cool articles come out this week. Head over, make sure you're following us over on Instagram and Facebook at 10and2 Media, and then head over to YouTube and just give us a subscribe.
Yeah.
Why not?
Why not?
So I think that's it.
That's it.
All right, so we will not have a Friday episode this week because we've done quite a bit of talking today. Unless something crazy comes up.
Yeah,
probably not.
We can always hop on and do a short
little
thing.
But yeah, so let us know what you're thinking of the podcast.
Yeah,
too.
And if there's anybody that you feel like you want us to sit down and talk to, send their name our way, and we'll try to get a hold of them and we'll try to set up an interview. We really enjoy doing those interviews, and
they're so fun.
Just getting down to the nitty gritty of the brand, I think is always a fun thing to do. And, I feel like our podcast is maybe set apart a little bit just because we're very laid back and we're able to get some of these guys to open up a little bit more. And, it's not so formal, I guess.
Yeah.
I feel super cash.
Really casual.
Real cash.
It probably helps that we eat a lot of food right
before
that's
we true.
Record. Well,
till next week.
Bye, y'all. Bye, guys.